रामकृष्णाय ॐ नमो भगवते 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 रामकृष्णाय ॐ नमो भगवती शारदा देवीये 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 ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय 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 ॐ नमो भगवती शारदा देवीये 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 ॐ नमो भगवते रामकृष्णाय ॐ नमो भगवती शारदा देवीये ॐ श्री रामकृष्ण भगवान की जय। ॐ द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ ॐ द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ मृदंग बाजे शिव 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 मृदंग बाजे शिव 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 डमरू बाजे हर 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 डमरू बाजे हर 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 वीण बाजे शिव ओम वीण बाजे शिव ओम नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ ॐ द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ ॐ द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ शिव शिव मृदंग बाजे शिव 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 डमरू बाजे हर 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 डमरू बाजे हर 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 वीण बाजे शिव ओम वीण बाजे शिव ओम नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ ओम द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ ओम द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ ओम द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम द्रिमिकी द्रिमिकी द्रिम नाचे भोलानाथ नाचे भोलानाथ ओम श्री रामकृष्ण भगवान की जय
சொற்றுனை வேதியின் சோதிவானவர் ஒற்றுனை தீருந்தடி பொருந்த கை தொழ சொற்றுனை வேதியின் சோதிவானவர் ஒற்றுனை தீருந்தடி பொருந்த கை தொழ சொற்றுனை வேதியின் சோதிவானவர் ஒற்றுனை தீருந்தடி பொருந்த கை தொழ கற்றுனை பூட்டியோ கடலில் பாய்ச்சினோ கற்றுனை பூட்டியோர் கடலில் பாய்ச்சினும் கற்றுனை பூட்டியோர் கடலில் பாய்ச்சினும் கற்றுனை பூட்டியோர் கடலில் பாய்ச்சினும் நற்றுணையாவது நம சிவாயவே நற்றுணையாவது நம சிவாயவே இல்லக விளக்கது இருள் கெடுப்பது இல்லக விளக்கது இருள் கெடுப்பது சொல்லக விளக்கது சோதி உள்ளது பல்லக விளக்கது பலரும் காண்பது நல்லக விளக்கது நம சிவாயவே மாப்பிணை தழுவிய மாதோன் பாதத்தின் உப்பினை தீருந்தடி பொருந்த கை தொழ மாப்பினை தழுவிய மாதோர் பாதத்தின் உப்பினை தீருந்தடி பொருந்த கை தொழ நாப்பினை தழுவிய
चरणन की गुरु चरणन की मोहि लागे लगन गुरु चरणन की गुरु चरणन की गुरु चरणन की मोहि लागे लगन गुरु चरणन की गुरु चरणन की चरण बिना मोहे कछु नहीं भावे चरण बिना मोहे कछु नहीं भावे जग माया सब सपनन की मोहे लागे लगन गुरु चरणन की गुरु चरणन की मोहे लागे लगन गुरु चरणन की गुरु चरणन की भव सागर सब सुख गयो है भव सागर सब सुख गयो है फिकर नहीं मोहे फिकर नहीं मोहे फिकर नहीं मोहे तरनन की गुरु तरनन की गुरु तरनन की फिकर नहीं मोहे तरनन की गुरु तरनन की गुरु तरनन की मोहि लागे लगन गुरु चरणन की गुरु चरणन की मोहि लागे लगन गुरु चरणन की मीरा कहे प्रभु मीरा कहे प्रभु गिरिधर नागर मीरा कहे प्रभु गिरिधर नागर गिरिधर नागर मीरा कहे प्रभु गिरिधर नागर आज मोहे गुरु चरणन की आज मोहे गुरु चरणन की मोहे लागे लगन गुरु चरणन की गुरु चरणन की मोहे लागे लगन गुरु चरणन की गुरु चरणन की गुरु चरणन की गुरु चरणन की ओम श्री राम कृष्ण भगवान की जय।
ॐ ऐं सर्वदेवदेवी स्वरूपाय Sri Ramakrishnaaya Namaha. I offer my salutations to Sri Ramakrishna, who is the embodiment of all the gods and goddesses. Revered Pravrajika Ishtaprana Mataji and loving devotees of God, Aum Namo Narayanaya. Swami Vivekananda once said to a devotee that the work to be done in Africa is reserved for the perfect man. Dhanagopal Naidu was certainly no ordinary young man. He was born on 22nd July 1925 in Newcastle, Northern Natal. From his childhood, Dada, as he was lovingly called, had a very strong and religious mind. His compassion for the less fortunate was so deep that often tears would roll down his cheeks at the very sight or thought of them. It was at the age of 10 that he first read about the life of Swami Vivekananda. This led to an immediate transformation and turned the spiritual spark in him into a brilliant flame. Dhanagopal had read how Sri Ramakrishna had realized God and was determined to accomplish the same. In order to do so, he learnt many lessons from the books that he read. Once, he fasted for 40 days as an offering to Lord Shiva. On the last night, when there were only a few hours left to end his fast, he lost consciousness and had a beautiful dream in which he was running through a garden and embraced a beautiful Shivaling amidst a bed of roses. When he regained consciousness, he felt a strange and indescribable bliss within himself and said, "Dreams like these are an encouragement for spiritual aspirants." His longing to realize God became intense, and he saw the need for a guru who could guide him. Young Dhanagopal realized that real progress is achieved when one breaks away from bondage of worldliness. He said, "Man is for society and not society for man." The first monk of the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission to visit South Africa was Swami Adyananda, a disciple of Sri Sarada Devi. The revered Swamiji delivered many lectures and introduced publications such as Prabodha Bharata, which gave Vedanta the much needed boost. In 1942, Dhanagopal Naidu, at the age of 17, started a literary group to study the Hindu religion, placing emphasis on the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Sarada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda. This heralded the birth of the Ramakrishna Center, and the prophetic words of Swami Vivekananda of the perfect man for Africa were set into motion. Dhanagopal realized the need to communicate with the monks of the Ramakrishna Mutt in India. He wanted to meet a monk who had met or served Swami Vivekananda. Thus, he would hear about and feel the deep spiritual awakening through association with such a great soul. Swami Virajananda was initiated by Sri Sarada Devi and took sannyas from Swami Vivekananda. He was the 6th president of the Ramakrishna Mutt and Mission at the time. Swami Virajananda was a saint who had the privilege of living with the direct disciples of Sri Ramakrishna. Dhanagopal began corresponding with this great soul and expressed his yearning to live a monastic life. Swami Virajananda replied to Dhanagopal as follows: "Everything will be clear to you if you read at least some of the volumes of the complete works of Swami Vivekananda and the Gospel of Sri Ramakrishna. I very much appreciate your desire to renounce worldly life. In the meantime, study religious books and live a pure life. That will be of great help towards your spiritual progress. Try to live according to the ideal of Swamiji, and the Lord will help you ever and ever." Dhanagopal was convinced that renunciation and selfless service were Swami Vivekananda's main goals in life. He revered Sri Ramakrishna as his supreme ideal, and the maxim of Swami Vivekananda of "service to man is worship of God" became the motto of his life. On 27 March 1946, Dhanagopal, together with 7 other youth, formalized the Ramakrishna Center of South Africa at a public gathering held in Durban. With the guidance by Swami Virajananda, the organization gained momentum and the Ramakrishna Center began to flourish. During his visit to South Africa in 1947, Swami Gahananda of the Ramakrishna Mutt, Mauritius, made the necessary arrangements for Dhanagopal to stay at the Ramakrishna Mutt in Belur, India. Progressive experiences like these deepened his faith in God. In later years, he advised that everything takes place in the course of time. One night, Dhanagopal had a dream in which he asked Swami Vivekananda if someone will come to take him to India? Swami Vivekananda answered that when the time was right, there would be no need for anyone to fetch him. He would come by himself. On 4th February 1948, Dhanugopal sailed for India. On 7th March, after 4 weeks, he arrived in Kolkata and went to Belur Math. The impressive marble image of Sri Ramakrishna and the spiritual atmosphere in the shrine overwhelmed him. He was overjoyed to meet Swami Virajananda, who soon initiated him as a brahmachari, giving him the name Jayaram. With the blessings of his guru, Jayaram left for Rishikesh. He met Swami Purushottananda, a disciple of Swami Brahmananda, a direct disciple of Sri Ramakrishna. Swami Purushottananda lived in a cave called Vashishta Guha, 23 kilometers north of Rishikesh. Jayaram realized that he had met his master, who would guide him spiritually. Swami Purushottananda observed Jayaram's sincerity and willingness to lead a spiritual life. On the holy day of Sri Krishna Jayanti, Swami Purushottananda initiated Jayaram into the holy order of sannyas, giving him the name Swami Nischalananda, which means bliss in the immovable one. During his 6-year stay in India, Swami Nischalananda travelled extensively throughout the country. He was now equipped to undertake multifarious activities, which would include spiritual and humanitarian work. He gained the necessary confidence and prepared for the work he intended to begin in South Africa. Swami Nischalananda returned to Durban on 30th September 1953 at the age of 28. He was the first president of the Ramakrishna Center of South Africa. His return marked the beginning of an organization which was dedicated to serve the community and educate people about religion and Vedanta. His all-embracing personality, deep compelling voice, and universal approach to religion attracted people from all walks of life. Major Hindu festivals such as Krishna Ashtami, Navratri, and Sri Ramakrishna's birthday were now being celebrated for the first time in South Africa. Gurudev, as he was fondly known by his devotees, initiated numerous social activities such as children's classes, exhibitions, and yoga camps to spread Vedanta. Using Swami Vivekananda's motto, "Service to man is worship of God," Gurudev started humanitarian activities which included the distribution of food hampers to the needy. He worked tirelessly and with unflinching dedication for the upliftment of the poor, irrespective of race or religion. His dedication made the people understand the real meaning of selfless work. Having instinctive foresight, he ordained one of his faithful disciples into the order of sannyas. This was Sri Swami Shivapadanandaji. Swami Nischalananda attained Mahasamadhi on 11th February 1965. Swami Shivapadananda became the next president and the spiritual head of the Ramakrishna Center. Swami Nischalananda's life is indeed legendary. His life is an example of true renunciation and an exemplary demonstration of faith, commitment, and consistency. He personified the teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, Sri Sarada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda through his work ethic, dedication, leadership, and sacrifices. It was visible that the compassion and grace of God worked through him as he brought peace, goodwill, and solace to thousands of people. His legacy continues to live through all the noble initiatives which continue to this day. Only a knower of God can see God in all. Gurudev served humanity, seeing God in all. Hari Om Tat Sat.
Jaya Jaya Ramakrishna Bhuvana श्यामसुता अति निर्मला जय माता श्यामसुता अति निर्मला जय जय रामकृष्ण भुवन मंगला जय विवेकानंद परम दयाला जय विवेकानंद परम दयाला प्रभु रमनस सुत प्रभु रमनस सुत जय श्री राखाला जय जय राम कृष्ण भुवन मंगला जय प्रेमानंद प्रेममय कलेवारा जय शिवानंद जय लीला सहचारा योगी योगानंद जय नित्यानिरंजना योगी योगानंद जय नित्यानिरंजना जय शशि गुरुपदे जय शशि गुरुपदे दत्ततनुमाना जय जय राम कृष्ण भुवन मंगला सेवा पर योगी वर अद्भुत आनंद अभेद आनंद जय गत मोह बंध योग रत त्याग व्रत तुरिया आख्याता योग रत त्याग व्रत तुरिया आख्याता शरत सुधीर शांत शरत सुधीर शांत येन गणनाथा जय जय राम कृष्ण भुवन मंगला जीवे शिव सेवा व्रत गंगाधर धीरा जय श्री विज्ञानानंद प्रशांत गंभीरा प्रवीण गोपाल मातृ सेवा परायणा प्रवीण गोपाल मातृ सेवा परायणा शारदा शारदा पदे शारदा शारदा पदे गत प्राणमाना जय जय राम कृष्ण भुवन मंगला बालक चरित्र जय सुबोध सरला नागवर त्याग वीर विवेक संबाला कथामृत परिशन कर जलधारा कथामृत परिशन कर जलधारा गिरीश भैरव जय गिरीश भैरव जय विश्वास आखारा जय जय राम कृष्ण भुवन मंगला राम कृष्ण दास दास जय सवाकारा राम कृष्ण लीला स्थान जय बार बार राम कृष्ण दास दास जय सवाकारा राम कृष्ण लीला स्थान जय बार बार राम कृष्ण नाम जय श्रवण मंगला राम कृष्ण नाम जय श्रवण Jaya Ramakrishna Bhuvana Mangala Jaya Jaya Ramakrishna Bhuvana Mangala Jaya Mata Shama Sutta Ati Niramala Jaya Mata Shama Sutta Ati Niramala Jaya Jaya Ramakrishna Bhuvana Mangala Jaya Jaya Ramakrishna Bhuvana Mangala Jaya Jaya Ramakrishna Bhuvana Mangala Om Shri Ramakrishna Bhagavan Ki Jai.
Aum Namo Narayanaya, dear sisters and brothers, we pray that everyone is well and safe. We are grateful for the help that is pouring in from every direction and can feel the loving protection and compassion of God. We are very fortunate that revered Swami Nischalananda Ji Maharaj spread the practical teachings of Sri Ramakrishna, the Master, the Holy Mother Sri Sarada Devi, and Swami Vivekananda in this country. There are 7 ashramas in the name of Sri Ramakrishna. The Sri Sarada Devi Ashram property was also purchased by revered Gurudev and built by revered Swami Shivapadananda Ji Maharaj. Today, many devotees take refuge in Master, Mother and Swamiji, and we can feel their unseen protective power guiding us. We are blessed to belong to the Ramakrishna family, especially during these difficult times when the inspiring teachings of the Holy Trinity fill us with hope and courage. We pray to God to fill us with strength and help us to live in peace and unity. We pray for peace and security. Let us sit in a relaxed posture and concentrate our minds on the radiant form of God seated in our hearts. You can think of any form of God you like. Forget every other thought. Let there be no tension, no stress, no anxiety. Feel love and peace in our hearts. Revered Gurudev recorded some of his beautiful experiences during meditation. Let us listen to revered Gurudev's experience during one such meditation. There is nowhere that you are not. I see you roll with the waves and rustle with the leaves. You are in the smiles of the sun and the twinkling of the stars. I feel your consciousness in the vastness of the universe. O Divine Spirit, you have filled me within and without. I am beyond body and thought, beyond all matter and minds, and I am submerged in your eternal light. I feel the gentle breeze of your bliss carrying me through the waves of cosmic consciousness beyond the vastness of this universe. I feel your eternal vibration manifest in me. Oh, I hear your cosmic song, your Aum. I am no more the little bubble that dances on the lake. I am slipping in the tavern of your spirit. O Aum, I am dissolving in your cosmic consciousness. I am Aum. I bow to you, O God. O Om, O Divine Mother, O Eternal Spirit, O Great Deliverer, I bow to you. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti.
ॐ सर्वेषां स्वस्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां शान्तिर्भवतु सर्वेषां पूर्णं भवतु सर्वेषां मङ्गलं भवतु सर्वे भवन्तु सुखिनः सर्वे सन्तु निरामयाः सर्वे भद्राणि पश्यन्तु मा कश्चित् दुःखभाग् भवेत् ॐ पूर्णमदः पूर्णमिदं पूर्णात् पूर्णमुदच्यते पूर्णस्य पूर्णमादाय पूर्णमेवावशिष्यते ॐ शान्ति शान्ति शान्तिः हरि ॐ तत्सत् जय श्री गुरु महाराज की जय महामाई की जय स्वामी जी महाराज की जय गंगा मात की जय महावीर स्वामी जी की जय सर्व ऋषि मुनियों की जय पार्वती पतये हर हर महा